What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. Thank you very much for choosing us once more. You are very much appreciated. I see you from South Africa watching us. Thank you so much. Ngiyabonga. I see you from Uganda, from Tanzania, from Rwanda, Kenya. Thank you so much for coming back every time. Thank you, Nigeria, Ghana, Eritrea. All of you guys, I appreciate you. You know, I can't name everybody, but hey, Jamaica, I see you. Tobago, Trinidad, I see you. Thank you so much, United States of America. We are scattered all over the world. And I know this is a big family. This is your first time here. Hey, feel free. Join us. Click on the button. Subscribe so we can see each other every day. I want to see you every day. Okay, so today we have an interesting story. You know, here we share content about Africa. We share about the diaspora. We talk about things that are relevant to us. Okay, so Rishi Sunak of Great Britain has sacked Suella Braverman as Home Secretary. Rishi Sunak, you know Rishi Sunak, this handsome young man, Prime Minister of Great Britain, has sacked Suella Braverman as Home Secretary. I don't know if you remember, we've spoken about Suella Braverman many times. She's not anymore in office. Why? Because she made a comment. Okay, she was being, with the boss, saying, well, the government did allow people to protest against Israel, and that was not okay. So basically, United Kingdom is supposed to be a democratic country. People went in the street in support of Palestinians, saying whatever happening in Palestine and Gaza is unacceptable. So people marched. Many people marched in support of the innocent people of Gaza. And she got really upset because the police did not beat them up. Yeah, she got very upset. So she criticized government. She said, well, government is very ready to beat up when far-right people walk down the streets claiming they're right, they will mistreat them. But these people who are anti-peace, okay, this is how she calls people supporting Palestinians, innocent Palestinians in Gaza, anti-peace. These are hate people, hate lovers.
There's only one way to describe those marches. They are hate marches.
So government didn't like that. As much as this government is very conservative, they didn't like that. So they kicked her out. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Suella Braverman. So who is Suella Braverman? Why is it interesting? Suella Braverman. Suella Braverman was born in Harrow. I know he doesn't look very white. Okay, we need to say it that way. I know, well, don't be offended. I'm black. It's fine. So when you talk about Britain, you expect to see English people in some way. I'm just saying, okay, nothing bad. Braverman, well, props to Britain for being a lovely country that accepts everybody. Okay, congratulations. I'm just trying to give a context so everybody can understand. Suella Braverman was born in Harrow, Greater London, raised in Wembley. She's a daughter of Molay Pile Mosien and Christine Fernandez, both Indian origin. Both of Indian origin, who immigrated to Britain in the 1960s from Mauritius and Kenya, respectively. Interesting, right? So her parents migrated. Both her parents are Indians origin. They migrated from Mauritius and Kenya to Great Britain. She was born in Great Britain. She became politician. Now she's part of the group of people who doesn't like foreigners. Okay, they don't want you to come to their country. They want to keep it the way it is. Interesting, right? Okay, so let me just remind you, at the time in the 1960s, just after, that was when Idi Amin of Uganda, I'm sure you heard about this guy. Yeah, they've made all these crazy movies about him, making him sound like he's such a, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's what they do. Idi Amin chased the Indians off his country because the country was run by Indians. How did the Indians get to Uganda? Indians came to Uganda during colonialism when British people came to Africa. They took over Kenya and Uganda. They wanted to build a railroad coming from Mombasa, which is the coast of Kenya, all the way to Kampala, which is the capital of Uganda. Please put the map so people can understand. From Mombasa all the way to Kampala, a railroad was to be built by British people. But the British people, for some reason, preferred to work with Indians people on the railroad. I don't know why. That's an interesting point. Why did the British come to Africa and not use Africans to build the railroad? But they went all the way back to India to get Indians to come and build the railroad. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Okay. Were the Africans not effective? Like, were they difficult to deal with? Or were the Indians more effective? I have no idea. Anyway, so the Indians stayed there, and after colonialism, some of them went back to India. Some got citizenship to Britain, and some decided to stay in both Kenya and Uganda. So there are huge communities of Indians in Kenya and Uganda, respectively. However, in the 1960s, the Indians in Uganda were very much centralized within themselves. They lived just within their own groups. Okay, they did not make friends with Africans. They did not intermarry with Africans. They had their own communities, their own restaurants, their own businesses. Okay, so there were Ugandans, but Indians. Okay, they were not very much involved with anything with, yeah. Idi Amin did not like that. Indians were very good, astute enterprisers and businessmen. They knew about business. So most of the business were run by Indian people. In other words, they ran the economy. However, when they made the money, instead of reinjecting the money into the Ugandan economy, they sent the money back to India or in the bank account in Britain. So Idi Amin did not like that. He said, are you Ugandans or you are British? So if you are Ugandans, then I guess you need to start investing in Uganda. You need to start being Ugandan. You need to start, not just have domestic workers that are Ugandans. How about you marry a Ugandan, or you get a Ugandan man to marry somebody in your clan, so we can really say you are from here and you're not just profiting from the economics. Okay, so Idi Amin was about that, but the Indians could not change. And he said, you know what? I'm giving you 90 days. 90 days to pack your stuff and leave, because you're not Ugandans.
They have been milking the economy of the country.
The bottom line is, you want to be here, you want to get profit from our people, but you don't really want to be involved. You don't really want to be Ugandan, because you're not putting even your money into the banks of Uganda. Okay, then in 90 days, it was crazy. Many people did not deserve that. We need to say that. The procedure was maybe rough, truly. And many Indians fled the country. Some went to Britain, they got British citizenships. Some went back to India. Okay, and at that same time, many Ugandans were happy because they took the businesses over, businesses that belonged to the Indians. But unfortunately, many Ugandans did not have the literature, the intelligence of finances. So they did not know how to run businesses. And very slowly, some of the businesses went to. I know, that was crazy. Taking somebody's business, he's worked very hard for it many years, and you give it to somebody else. Okay, that's just, I know. However, during that time, many people left. Okay, so then the generation of Suwela Braverman, as well as Sunak, who is the Prime Minister of British people, were born in England. They know the story. They heard the stories. Obviously, if your people were sort of, mistreated in some place, doesn't matter how you want to call it. Some people may say they were mistreated in Africa. Some people may say they were chased off Africa. Some people will say that they were profiting from Africa. It doesn't really matter what it is, that, you won't be very happy. Sunak, who was Prime Minister of Great Britain, as well as Braverman, both born of Indian parents, come from Africa, born in England. They do not like foreigners in England. So they pushed a policy where what they call illegal foreigners, illegal immigrants, could not get into the country. Braverman is very much known for the project called Stop the Boat.
The British people are famously a fair and patient people. But their sense of fair play has been tested beyond its limits. This government must act decisively, must act with determination, must act with compassion, must act with proportion. So make no mistake, this Conservative government, this Conservative Prime Minister will act now to stop the boats. And I commend the statement to the House.
I'm sure you heard about this before. Okay, Stop the Boat was a project they created. The goal was to stop every boat coming from France, because apparently a lot of immigrants, they come to Europe, France, then they take a boat from France, crossing the channel all the way to Britain. Why? Because they feel like life in Great Britain is much better than life in the rest of Europe. Some of you can confirm that. We know that the pound is costs is much heavier than the euro. It holds more weight. So many Africans and many other immigrants from other places in the world, when they get into Europe, they get into France, they get into Belgium, they get into Germany, they choose to go all the way to France and take a boat to cross the channel going to England. They came into small boat. This the reason to stop the boat motion. They created that. The goal was to stop people from coming to England anymore. Okay, then they came up with a policy saying, you know what, we're not going to accept any more immigrants. Okay, you know when you talk about immigrants, you know which immigrants we're talking about, because it's not Ukrainians. No. The Ukrainians were applauded, they were accepted. When war started in Ukraine, they say the Ukrainian can come in, no problem, no issue. In fact, many families in Great Britain received an incentive from the government. They got money from government to accept Ukrainians in their families. Yeah, yes. Many Ukrainians came into Britain happy. You go straight into a family. You're getting some money every week. And then guess what's happened next? Next, some Ukrainians were complaining, saying, oh, well, we're not very happy here, even though our country is being bombarded right now. We're not very happy because there are too many Muslims here and too many blacks. So it's not our country. We're fine here. We're eating English breakfast every morning. However, there are too many Muslims and too many blacks. So we don't like it very much. Okay, so Britain encouraged British people to accept Ukrainians. But they have a policy for other foreigners, which is stop the boat. Do not let them in. Okay, and that policy went up to having a contract. Great Britain, through this government, which is a far-right government, a government that don't like foreigners, they made a contract with Rwanda saying, okay, from now on, all Africans that come to Great Britain will not be held here in Great Britain because they cost us too much money. We're paying too much money for hotels for them to stay, too much money for their health care, too much money for many other things. From now on, Africans that come here illegally going to be sent to Rwanda, where they're going to be held and processed. They're going to study each case, see whether they deserve to seek asylum or maybe they could stay in Rwanda. You'll stay in Rwanda. Rwanda is a beautiful country. There's a lot of hills. It's a country of thousands of hills. There's many cows in Rwanda and many beautiful ladies too. So you might just relocate to Rwanda. So Rwanda received money from Great Britain. Received money from Great Britain to start this project. And many Africans were not very happy about that. This is the project of Suella Braverman. Now, Suella Braverman attacks Rishi Sunak, who is a cousin. No, not really cousin, but yeah, they look very similar. Anyway, they both have Indian parents or something who came from Africa. They ran away from Africa. She said, he's not living up to expectations. Braverman has launched a full-scale attack on her old boss, Rishi Sunak, a day after she's been sacked. In a blistering letter to the Prime Minister, she said he had repeatedly failed on key policies and broken pledge over immigration. It's crazy, fellas. These people are focused on immigration. It's like immigration. But fella, you're not from here. I'm sorry. You were born here, but your parents are Indians. They came from Africa. But you're fighting immigration. Suella Braverman. And Braverman is the name of her husband, if you were just curious. Her name is Braverman. Braverman is a British man. Interesting, huh? You're an Indian, beautiful girl. You can have a Braverman, British man, but you don't want other people to have Bravermans too. You just want to be the only one to have a Braverman in your life. How selfish is that? That's very selfish. So I'm Indian. I can have a Braverman, and my babies can be called Bravermans, but you don't want any other people to have the same opportunity, if that's an opportunity. How crazy is that? So they're fighting each other. They have called back the old Prime Minister, Boris Johnson. Johnson is a very strong person. He has very strong views. He pulled Britain out of Europe. He created, pushed Brexit, where Britain was away from Europe to avoid people from leaving Europe coming to Britain. That was him. That was his policy. He was very much a supporter of the war in Ukraine, because the war in Ukraine was already on the way to finding solutions. When he went to Ukraine, traveling, seeing the president of Ukraine, encouraging him to continue fighting. So they're back on track. So let me know how you feel about this. Suella Braverman being sacked by Rishi Sunak. Young man, 43 years old, he's very young. Both of Indian origin. Both parents came from Africa, but they fight immigration in the hardest way possible. It's unbelievable. Is this right? Does it make sense to you? Logical sense to you? On the other hand, let me put it to you. Britain cannot accept just everybody. I'm sorry. Okay? I know it feels weird that they say they don't want you, but hey, yeah, they have limits. They cannot just accept everybody. No, it's not possible. It's a small country. They cannot accept everybody. How about we start building Africa? We can have some level of pride. And actually, you know what? You keep your Brits and we're going to take care of ourselves. We have everything, right? We need to fix ourselves. Infrastructure, being honest, stop being corrupt. That's number one. So we can create paradise where we are. You know, it doesn't feel good that you have to leave your home, go cross Mediterranean seas to try go to a place where nobody wants you. So, no, I mean, have a level of pride. Whatever money you have, this is how I speak to youth of Africa. The money that you have, $1,000, $2,000 for you to try go over there. Why don't you create a small thing in a corner of your neighborhood? Sell stuff, I don't know, sell tomatoes, sell cigarettes, whatever. If you're too shy, I mean, yeah, you're too shy to do that. That's not your level. You want to be, yeah, do something. And if you focus enough, maybe you can build something bigger, slowly, but you can get better. I don't think it feels right that you're being told, no, you can't come here. And how about we make our immigration much tougher, because countries in Africa allow many Europeans to come to Africa with no visas. Let me give you an example. South Africa, for instance. A British person will come to South Africa with no visa. 90 days. 90 days. He just shows his British passport. Welcome. 90 days. But a South African cannot go to Britain with no visa. It's not possible. A French person will come to South Africa, a Belgian, 90 days. Why don't Africans do the same? So you can, give yourself a level of respect. That's how you get respect. So you can't come in my house, but I can come in your house whenever I want. Who's superior? Things need to change, fellas. Thank you very much. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. How about we open opportunities for fellow Africans? Allow other Africans to come to your country for 90 days. How about that? You're allowing some people who don't want you, they don't even respect you at all. They create laws every single day. By the way, many people in Britain were about to be sent to Rwanda this week. Many immigrants were about to send to, you came from Senegal, you came from Cameroon, you came from Nigeria, went to Britain, they took you all together, they're sending you to Rwanda, that's where you're going to be processed. And Rwanda received money to, house you, feed you and stuff like that. Imagine you live in your country in Nigeria, you leave Ghana, just so you can be a refugee in Rwanda. I don't know if that's a good idea. But fortunately, for those people at least, justice in the country, in Great Britain, say this is unacceptable. It violates human rights. These people will not be sent to Rwanda. This happened this week.
The legal test which has to be applied in this case is whether there are substantial grounds for believing that asylum seekers sent to Rwanda would be at real risk of refoulement. In the light of the evidence which I have summarised, the Court of Appeal concluded that there were such grounds. We are unanimously of the view that they were entitled to reach that conclusion.
Okay, so their case still needs to be looked into. But the fight is not over. Government is fighting to send these people. Thank you very much, fellas. Bravo man fired by Rishi Sunak for saying that the police is not beating enough the people standing for Palestine. They should have been, it's crazy. Let me know how you feel about this. God bless.